All right, now we're going to talk about the Fireside Chat that Keyshawn Pearson with Memphis Community Against Pollution held with Mayor Young. It was well attended. Lots of people showed out for it. Here's some video from that meeting. He was pressed on a lot of issues about the city, but the one that really took the cake was XAI. A lot of people feel worried about environmental concerns and just how much we are going to get, the city will get back from allowing Elon Musk to come in here and develop this supercomputer. So, Catherine, you were there. Give us a little bit of the lay of the land.
Yeah, it was a really neat event, honestly, and a very Memphis event in a lot of ways. I don't know of another city where a mayor would sit in front of a crowd of 400 to 500 people who are hostile to what he has been stating and just take their questions. And that happened on Saturday. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon. People could have been at the park, and the church was packed. I think there were about 400 to 500 people there. Keyshawn asked some very pointed questions of the mayor, and the audience let the mayor know exactly what they thought of those answers that he gave. And then people lined up and asked more questions and gave statements. It was a pretty fascinating event. I hope there are more of them in the future.
Definitely. And the one big thing that was a topic was the 15 methane turbines that XAI is hoping to get approved. And there was one lady who came up to the podium or came up to the mic and said, all money is not good money. So I do want to ask, how do we feel about the continuation of Mayor Young sticking to the fact that this is a good development for the city despite pushback, particularly on health concerns?
You know, I think he's in a catch-22 in a way, because certainly he wants to bring good businesses to Memphis and have an economic boost for Memphis, because you can do a lot of things with that, but not at the risk of the safety of the citizens of Memphis. And he's got to find a way to balance this. And I think that's why he probably is focusing on the health department, because even if you just Google search turbines, what I read when I Google search was not pretty. And it is scary, so their fears are real. But we've got to have a health department who is equipped and ready to go in June on monitoring, on their safety concerns and how we alert the public. And he's got to, Mayor Young has to do a better job of keeping things transparent. Keeping things transparent. Because when you shut that down, and I think that was what he was trying to do by being there, but when you shut down information and people have to dig and find information for themselves, something is lacking in service to citizens. They should be provided with information, and I'm glad to see that he was out there and answered the hard questions. But we also need to ask the question of, is the health department ready? Do they have a specialist on team to monitor this? What equipment do they need? How do we present ourselves ready to keep our citizens safe? And is this a good venture for the citizens of that area? There were a lot of places that could have gone. And I'm just going to say this and then I'll quit. People, their homes is a piece of generational wealth. It's the one thing you don't want devalued. So how do I protect their health, and how do I protect their investment? And those questions got to be answered.
And to be clear, the turbines are already in operation. They don't need a permit until a year. So they are in operation, unpermitted, which is entirely allowed by law. So Dr. Michelle Taylor of the Health Department, I thought, brought a little bit of a response to some of Mayor Young's comments to the county commission this week, and essentially said that, you know, we can't stop them now because they can operate for a year without a permit. She also made the point that a lot of our environmental regulations dates back to the 50s and the 30s. A lot of our zoning laws have to do with redlining. You can clearly see that in which neighborhoods are targeted. And she made the point that people like the county commission and the city council should be making legislative changes to allow places like the health department to crack down on these things.
And that's the role of government.
And how long do you think Elon Musk will give a grace period to have this figured out before he just starts doing whatever he wants?
Now that is the problem, because you got to have ethical players. who also will be concerned about the health and safety of, and that's why the lady said all good money. All money is not good money. Because if they're not ethical players, and I'm not saying he is or not, they would think about the bottom line and not the safety of these residents.
And the AI race has people moving really, really, really fast. Everything we've seen since XAI was announced coming to Memphis, there's news, and it is moving at the speed of light. And I think it's going to just keep doing that. So if they're going to make some legislation, they probably need to do it real fast.
How do we feel about the transparency from XAI representatives and the community?
I don't feel good about it at all because the whole thing just popped up all of a sudden, as everybody knows. So that's the major problem here. There has not been enough transparency. And, there's a reason why this was called a fireside chat, because it was very fiery, as it should have been. And I am glad, as you said, Catherine, that there were that many people out there who were concerned. They should have a right to be concerned. They have seen their neighborhoods dumped on before with pollution and all of that. I do give the mayor credit for going into the lion's den. Some politicians don't do that. We know some who didn't. So I give him credit for doing that. But it can't just be the property tax money or the bottom line, the economics. It has to be safety involved here with the citizens. And there needs to be more transparency.
Right.
This is, I have yet to hear directly from Elon Musk talking to Memphians about this. And I'm sure he's got some minions somewhere. One of them came to the city council, I think, recently. But we need some more of that, because it is a trust factor where he is concerned that a lot of people are upset with, and rightfully so, because of what he's doing with national government. There are just so many issues that need to be addressed here, and I'm glad that we're having these kind of discussions.
And one last question, just is the risk worth the reward? I mean, we have yet to see what Memphis will get out of this XAI, the jobs, all of that is still kind of up in the air, or more businesses coming in because of this supercomputer. I guess, Catherine, in your reporting.
Yeah, so there are several concerns here. There's concerns about our energy usage, there's concerns about air pollution, and there's concerns about water usage and contamination to the Memphis aquifer. Those are all huge things. And we've seen the mayor come in and say, oh, XAI is going to mitigate that by doing this, by doing the gray water facility, all of these different things. My concern is that XAI might say they're going to do a thing. I don't know how we hold them to that. I don't know how we ensure that they don't walk it back. I don't know how we ensure that they don't end up deciding to use something other than water or air cooling on the new facility in Whitehaven. So there are very legitimate concerns here, and I think we have a lot of unanswered questions.
And we need some reassurance for sure. Now, one thing I have been seeing are a lot more Cybertrucks on the roads in Memphis. So there's that. Somebody's getting something.